Okay, hello, sir. Hopefully you are in a good condition. So we are from 30th group, and then we will we will talk about Islamic criminal law in Islamic humanitarian law. So I am Rodia Mustalifah Tiofan, and there are my friends Frina Deborah Hutapea and Samuel Febrian Prima. So next, please. Okay, thank you. First, Islamic criminal law. The term criminal offense is derived from the term known as Stafbar faith, namely crime, and then criminal event, and next criminal offense and punishable conduct, and the last one action that are punishable. Actually, this there are the other name of staff bar faith or other means. And then in Islamic criminal law, the term criminal offense is known as jarimah and jinayah. Jarimah and jinayah have similar definitions actually. The difference is that jarimah is the plural form of jinayah. So that fukaha often use the word jinayah even though the criminal offense is jarimah. Next, please. So, the first thing we want to talk about jarimah. These are Sharia prohibitions that are punished by Allah with the punishment of had and ta'zir in the form of doing actions that are prohibited or leaving actions that are ordered. In other words, we can understand jarima as a sin wrongdoing or crime. The scholars divide jarima based on the aspects of the severity and likeness of the punishment and whether or not it is confirmed by the Quran and Hadith.
Jarima hudud is actions that have a form and limit of punishments in the Quran and Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad SAW. It can also be interpreted as a provisions contained in the Quran and Sunnah. Example of actions that include jarima hudud are first zina, second kazaf, third drinking alcohol, fourth stealing, fifth committing hirabah, sixth apostasy, and the last one is rebellion. We have jarima kishash and diyat. It means punishments in the form of appropriate retaliations or payment of compensations for criminal acts against body and soul. And the second, jarima ta'zir. This jarima is a jarima that is not concretely mentioned in the form of actions and punishments in the Quran and Al-Sunnah. The scope of ta'zir punishment is very broad. The criminal sanctions are determined by the leader.
Okay, the first one is jinayah. Jinayah is a name of for action that are forbidden by Islamic law, whether with regard to life, property, or others. That is an act forbidden by Sharia, whether it is about the soul or property or anything else. Fuqaha use the word jinayah only for action that hit a person's soul or limbs. Uh, the first one is kill, second injury, three hit, and the last one abortion. Islamic humanitarian law is also known as Islamic law of war or Islamic law of armed conflict. Refer to the principles and guidelines in Islamic jurisprudence that regulate the behavior of armed conflict from an Islamic perspective. It include rules and ethics derived from the Quran and Hadith or the words and action of the Prophet Muhammad and the concerns of Islamic scholars. Key principles of Islamic humanitarian law include the first one is prohibition of non-favoritism violence. Second one, protection of prisoners of war. The third one is respect for humanitarian aid workers. And the next is restrictions on the conduct of war. And the next, the principle of proportionality. And the last one is protection of religious sites. Islamic humanitarian law aims to reduce suffering caused by armed conflict and promote ethical behavior on the battlefield, reflecting broader Islamic principles of justice, mercy, and respect for human dignity.
Last but not least, someone once said, kesepian tanpa kekasih, cukup sekian dan terima kasih. Thank you for listening our presentation, sir, and have a blessed day.